Today we're going to be talking about a couple of guys that we think are going to go way up in market value. So guys that you should buy low right now and eventually sell high on once they inevitably gain value for one reason or another. So we're going to be talking about how you can get those guys and which guys you should be buying today. But first, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got all kinds of Dynasty content coming out every single week. And make sure you go check out our locals page as well. We've got listener leagues, exclusive content, etc. on our Discord. All right, let's get into it. So this is basically marketplace. I mean, essentially what this is you're betting. In a way, you're betting against these players because you're buying them right now, but you're only buying them because you know how the Dynasty community reacts to things. You know how reactive everybody is, so you know you can sell them high. These are guys specifically that we're buying to sell. We are buying them to sell them. We're going to take the market profit from their value. And I think the first example of this that we can, and I think this will kind of clear things up, is Trey Lance. So Trey Lance is somebody you're getting in the third or fourth round of startup drafts this year. So let's talk situationally about Trey Lance and Brock Purdy real quick. I think it has to be addressed. So why is Trey Lance's value low, Nathan?
Because Brock Purdy came in and he played well.
He did.
He actually, I mean, he looked like a veteran out there. We were recorded talking about Purdy's value on FF Dynasty, saying what we would pay for him, and I think we would, at this point, only pay about half what we said we would actually pay for him even just a month ago. And again, that was because, like we did say, Purdy's value is so not guaranteed and so able to fall in value very quickly because his value was literally dependent on whether or not they made the Super Bowl.
Which is nuts.
And they didn't. And then, of course, on top of that, he got injured.
Let's look at the scenarios for Trey Lance. Scenario 1. Trey Lance gets healthy, comes back in training camp, and beats Brock Purdy out for the starting job. Scenario 2. Trey Lance comes back, gets healthy, but Brock Purdy beats him out for the starting job, and he's the backup. Scenario 3. Brock Purdy beats Trey Lance out, and they trade Trey Lance to another team. So scenarios 1 and 3, to me, are the highly most likely scenario.
Most likely.
I do not think there's any chance with what they have invested in Lance that they are going to let, number one, Brock Purdy's going to beat him out, which I think is unlikely anyways, but then that they're just going to make him a backup. First of all, there are going to be plenty of teams that want Trey Lance if the 49ers don't. Second of all, Trey Lance is probably better than Brock Purdy. He really is. Having said that, once you do buy Trey Lance at this, we are selling him at his value peak again. And he will peak. The second he's named the starter, the second he has a training camp video throwing to Brandon Ayuk, the second he's traded.
A single training camp
video. That's all it takes in Dynasty is for people's value to be inflated. A video.
Yes.
The second something like that happens, Trey Lance is immediately skyrocketing in value.
Guys, there
is essentially zero chance that Trey Lance's value does not go much higher than it is right now. I do not see a scenario. Even if somehow that unlikely situation where Trey Lance is benched behind Purdy, even if that somehow happens, the second Brock Purdy got hurt, Trey Lance would step into the game and his value would immediately shoot up.
Yes.
We're looking at guys that we are almost 100% sure that their value is going to skyrocket back up at some point. Trey Lance is absolutely one of these guys. There's no way his value doesn't go up from here.
Guys, get ready for the training camp chaos. The second I saw the announcement that Brock Purdy did not have to have Tommy John surgery and he'd be back by training camp, this is what their values are going to look like day by day at training camp. Because you're just going to see, I can see the stupid sleeper alerts already coming on my phone during training camp, and it's going to say Brock Purdy is taking first-team reps today. Trey Lance is taking first-team reps today. Brock Purdy's taking first-team reps today. And then you're going to have some highlight video of Purdy making some athletic play to George Kittle, and you're going to see some highlight play of Trey Lance making some athletic play and throw to Deebo Samuel. It is going to be back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And there's going to be a bunch of fake insiders that say that the Niners are going to trade Lance to a contending team, or the Niners are going to trade Purdy, or that Purdy's going to start, or Lance is going to start. It's going to be all over the place. This is why we say keep your head above the waves. Be ready for it. And worst case scenario, if you are out on Lance and you really don't think he's going to do anything, sell him the day that he spikes.
I think Brock Purdy could be put in this conversation because he started to slip down because of his injury, And there's going to be a time where Brock Purdy goes back up in value, I think.
That's true. They could both be, which is crazy. They're both on the same team.
And why am I selling? And why are we selling Trey Lance when he does spike back up? Ultimately, I don't think we believe in him as much as we believe. If he gets back up to second round capital, that means you're getting an elite proven asset in the second round. You can trade something of that magnitude. You can get back for Trey Lance in a trade. There are a lot safer assets than Trey Lance when he's valued that high in Dynasty.
Yeah, and you just have to read the room too. I mean, we're no NFL GMs. This is all opinion, but you just got to read the Niners room. Like, everything that went on last year was just weird. That Jimmy G was practicing on a separate field, and you knew that he was going to get traded, and all of a sudden they re-sign him, and then Lance looks horrible the first couple of games he plays, and then he gets hurt, breaks his ankle in half. And then Jimmy G gets hurt. Brock Purdy comes in. Now there's all this talk about Purdy.
To be fair, Trey Lance didn't play a whole lot.
He didn't play a lot. But still, the point is, even everything leading up to that was just weird because they said they were verbally committed to Trey Lance, and yet they re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo. And then you have Brock Purdy. It's all going to be. Yeah, it's weird.
It's a mess. Let's go to the second guy. This is somebody that Nathan picked out, so I'll let you kind of give the rundown on Devonte Adams. But Devonte Adams is somebody that we think you should be buying now to sell later.
Yeah, this is solely this is going to be
speculation.
This is speculation. So I personally think that there's a pretty solid chance that Rodgers goes to Vegas.
I personally agree.
And this is honestly. A big part of it is a lot of people are going to say just because he and Adams and Aaron Rodgers want to be reunited. Yes and no. The Raiders are in a really interesting situation because they were a very overhyped team last year with a very overhyped head coach, and they overpaid a lot of older players, even on the defensive side. They don't have a ton of draft capital or a ton of ability to make their team as good as it could be without a QB. And now they're going to be Derek Carless next year. So bringing in Aaron Rodgers personally to me would make sense because you just paid Devonte Adams this mega deal, and he is 30 years old. He's not going to last forever. They've got to be thinking in a contending window.
Yeah.
Right? They have to have a contending mindset. And Aaron Rodgers just makes complete sense there. They're not going to be paying him much more than they were paying Carr before, so it's not going to hurt them from a salary cap space sort of standpoint. Josh Jacobs is looking to get a second deal, and after his production, I really think they'll probably re-sign him. I do think they will. And then they re-signed Darren Waller last year. Yep. A lot of people forget that Waller is kind of a buy, actually. Because
I think he's also a buy and sell.
He's a buy and then sell. We could add him into here too.
You could honestly add Hunter Renfrow too.
Yeah, he's 20. What is Waller now? 30 years old, I think, at this point. He struggled with injury the past couple seasons. They re-signed him going into last season in 2022 to like an extra 3-year deal. So he's got 2 years left on that deal. They have all these old players on their offense. Rodgers, I think, is going to go there. I think he would like to go there.
I think he wants to.
He doesn't want to deal with young receivers again. Especially as a declining QB.
And he loves Devontae.
Yeah. So that being said, when Rodgers moves to Vegas, I think Adams' value is going to go up, especially for contenders where you can get more than what he's worth right now.
So let's talk about Zach Wilson. This is a guy that I literally cannot stop drafting in startups. And I hate Zach Wilson.
He's barely accounted for in our ADP.
He is a terrible teammate. He's a bad football player. I just don't really like him. Sorry to be negative, but
I think he'll be really upset about it.
I know. But Zach Wilson is somebody that's going to get another chance. And when he does, guys, he's going to be worth twice as much as a 15th round startup pick. I promise he will. I promise he's not done. He's only played 2 years. He's got first round draft capital. If he's not with the Jets, which I've heard, Saleh has said that he's not done with the Jets. He said that to reporters in public. So not only has he publicly said that, I would be hard-pressed to believe that even if he was not, or even if he was completely finished with the Jets, that he wasn't going to get an opportunity somewhere else, whether that's as a backup or whether that's as a starter. Any way I look at this, I don't see a scenario where Zach Wilson's not increasing in value.
Or he doesn't increase. Even if it's just a slight increase in value, it's a win because then you can move him and get more from him than what you had to give up to get
is like free.
It's
That's
ridiculous.
Nothing.
There's no investment there. the 14th, 15th round.
In super flex leagues, you don't think when Zach Wilson becomes a starter, whether that's as a backup or as an actual starter himself, you don't think somebody's going to pay for Zach Wilson?
Yeah, and this isn't just I guess technically it is a prediction, but this is basically as factual as we can get because we've seen this before with other QBs that are less talented athletically than Zach Wilson was. Baker Mayfield, case in point. Baker Mayfield goes to the Panthers. They trade a 3rd round pick for him, and people were trading 23 firsts to go get Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield was the next Drew Brees.
Oh, that doesn't happen in my league.
Simon, you can say it doesn't happen in your league. Did you try?
No, you didn't. And you also way overestimate your league. And not everybody plays in leagues that are all geniuses like you. But Zach Wilson, somebody that's absolutely, I promise, if you buy him in the 14, 15 round of startups, you will get more out of him than that within a year. I promise.
You will.
I promise. Talk to me about Elijah Moore. Same team.
Same team. We've got a lot of similar teammates here.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
Elijah Moore didn't just forget to play football. He just didn't. I'm sorry. Like I understand that he was a disappointment going into this last year. We saw that coming once they drafted Garrett Wilson. People still tried to believe in Elijah Moore and overdrafted him and said that he was going to outproduce Garrett Wilson. And we said, no. You don't draft Garrett Wilson in the early 1st round to then commit to Elijah Moore being your alpha wide receiver. He's not that type of receiver anyways. So he does nothing last year. He's basically in Salah's doghouse. It's like, where is Elijah Moore? He's not getting any passes. And then you're like, you know what? This completely makes sense. He probably just hated Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Probably.
I don't really see a scenario where Elijah Moore is as bad next season as he was this year. I think he'll have an uptick in production. I think you'll see a training camp video of him making some awesome catch with whatever QB is starting in New York next season, and you can ship him off for that because his ceiling is capped. So
and he's just not that great of an NFL receiver. Guys, he just isn't.
Yeah, he costs nothing.
Yeah, he does.
He costs nothing.
He's free.
I loved Elijah Moore as a rookie. I invested heavily in him because I knew he'd go up in value and produce before Garrett Wilson came. He did produce as a rookie, and then I sold him. I could not stop selling him afterwards because he was so overvalued.
Remember, he was going, 6th, 7th round, right?
Yes, he was going ahead of Stephon Diggs.
Was he really in Dynasty draft?
He ahead or right behind. He was going around the same value as Stephon Diggs was.
That is bananas.
Yes.
Not in my leagues. Let's talk about this some more and talk about DJ Moore. Covering all the Moores here.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the deal with DJ Moore. I've never seen a Dynasty player or a Dynasty receiver that has gotten as many excuses as DJ Moore. Like every single year, it's wait until he gets a quarterback. Wait till he gets a quarterback. I mean, number one, by the time he gets a quarterback, he might be 100. But number two, I don't know why we really expect DJ Moore to produce at a higher level when he gets a new quarterback. I mean, he has consistently performed at almost the same level on a year-by-year basis with with all kinds of different QBs. I don't think he's the kind of guy that commands targets, that earns like an absurd amount of targets. I think he's a good NFL wide receiver, and I think that's it.
He's very good. I'd kill to have him on the Colts or whatever team is my favorite.
But right
team.
now, you can get him super cheap, and we like that because wait till he gets a receiver or
a QB.
QB.
Yep.
Idiot. Because and honestly, I think this is probably the year. I mean, what are they going to run it back with Darnold? I really don't think so. So you get DJ Moore cheap. And when they draft Anthony Richardson, you saw it with Baker.
You
saw it with Baker. With DJ Moore, like this. Baker. Oh, Baker. Their tweets, really, really clever tweets. Oh, Baker is now the best quarterback that DJ Moore's ever had. So freaking what? I mean, Baker laid an egg. But when they drafted Anthony Richardson, when they drafted Will Levis, even a Hendon Hooker,
or even bring in Derek Carr, they could bring in Derek Carr.
People are going to go. I mean, DJ Moore is not Devonte Adams, guys. DJ Moore is what DJ Moore is. It's like Terry McLaurin. I don't know why we ever expect Terry McLaurin. Carson Wentz is far and away the best quarterback Terry McLaurin ever played with.
And if they bring
he was still a wide receiver too. Like that's just what he is.
Yeah, if they bring in Carr, also you gotta factor in the fact that they don't have a running back, guys. So in the first round, they're in a position to go get Bijan. And that would be, I mean, talk about a timely replacement when they trade away CMC to then go get Bijan Robinson. Like that would be really nice if they got one of those veteran available QBs in free agency right now. So
with DJ Moore, I think this is a guy you can almost always grab and his value will go up because there's a revolving door of quarterbacks in Carolina because there's a very good chance that there's a new quarterback there this offseason. You can buy him now and sell him the second there's a new quarterback there. His value will spike. We are extremely reactive. We do not keep our head above the waves, a lot of us. And DJ Moore is going to end up being a buy. And the last one we have that we think you should buy right now, and then go sell is a guy you're getting in the 10th, 11th round of startup drafts, and that's Jordan Love. Jordan Love, obviously sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Now, I guess I see why you would want to buy and hold Jordan Love. Either way, I'm buying Jordan Love right now because there are two scenarios here. Either A, you buy Jordan Love and he goes up in value because he ends up being the starter, and then he's really good, and then you have Jordan Love for cheaper than what you probably should have gotten him for. Or B, you buy Jordan Love and he starts and he sucks, but you sold him before that, and you sold him when he got up to 5th round startup capital because Aaron Rodgers gets traded. Because I can tell you right now, if Aaron Rodgers gets traded from the Green Bay Packers, which at this point I think is more likely than him staying, I think he's either retiring or being traded. I don't think they're going to keep him. Jordan Love, who Aaron Rodgers has said is his replacement, is going to be the starting quarterback there. And if they do not draft a quarterback or anything like that, people are going to go bananas for Jordan Love. Yeah,
Jordan Love is currently going around the 12th rounds in our ADP right now, and you can he has first-round draft capital, where the Packers invested in him literally to replace Aaron Rodgers. As disgusting as that sounds, they did, so they are going to give him a chance. You can go get Jordan Love, and you can give up Desmond Ridder or Romeo Doubs or Trey McBride.
And then when you get to the 5th round, you can swap Jordan Love for Chris Godwin or somebody that is a lot more secure in value than Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love Jordan Love, I don't love him because I actually don't think he's really looked that good with the opportunity he's gotten. I think he's going to be somebody that gets a lot of excuses once he comes in. I think he's going to be somebody that's going to, he's really taken a long time to develop sitting behind Rodgers, but I honestly don't think he's that good of a quarterback.
No, and he doubled his value alone just from playing in one quarter of football against the Eagles this past season because people remembered, Jordan Love is actually there. I forgot about that. You remember that? Remember when that happens? Like Jordan Love, you barely even heard his name this season, and then Rodgers got hurt. He had to come in for a half, and now he's finally relevant. The other thing, so
you draft these quarterbacks to sit behind like your veteran legacy quarterbacks, whatever, and groom them. It rarely, I don't know, it doesn't work as often as you think it would. But in all the situations I could think of, as much as I love Aaron Rodgers personally, I really do. I do not think he would be the best person to groom a quarterback, especially one that they drafted to replace him. Like, in terms of as cool,
like really investing a lot of time to helping him develop.
Like, so how much has Jordan Love actually
He says a lot of nice things about Love. I think
he says a lot of nice stuff about Romeo Doubs, and Romeo Doubs
is not that great.
Well, they asked Romeo Doubs when have you hung? What's Aaron Rodgers like outside of camp? He's like, I never hung out with him. I mean,
that's true.
Aaron Rodgers is very complimentary of his teammates, and he's very complimentary of Jordan Love, and has never publicly held against him that he was his replacement. But in reality, you're talking about he's sat all these years behind Aaron Rodgers learning. You really think he actually invested in Jordan Love? Because again, I like Aaron Rodgers and I like him as a person. I think he's hilarious. I highly doubt that he's actually spent a ton of time investing in Jordan Love just by the nature of his personality and what, he just seems to be a very private person off the field. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the other thing that kind of concerns me with Jordan Love. So those are 6 guys that you should be buying now to sell them later. These are guys you should be flipping. Guys you should be buying low we're buying them to sell. So make sure once you buy these guys, when they watch their keep trade cut graphs, once they go up 40%, buy. I see you later. That's all it takes. I don't think there would be any reason we'd be hanging on to any of these guys once they do spike in value. So it's going to wrap it up today. Make sure you hit like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go check out our locals page as well. As always, we appreciate you guys listening. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.